Hello, Professor Random. My name is Sunny Avzal, and today I'll be talking to you about my beta version from my game board. Now, before I get to the actual gameplay, I will address a few things written on the feedback I got for my midterm. So you asked me, in your feedback, you asked if the dice for my concept, the biased dice, if they're actually biased dice, the ones I purchased. So I want to give some background information about that to give some clarity. Now, when it comes to biased dice, there's different terms that you can use for it. Obviously, I prefer to use biased dice, but you can also call it loaded dice or heavy dice. And they all mean the same thing. You know, it's pretty much saying that the dice is not fair in that certain sides are more likely to come up than others. So that's the whole meaning behind these names. Another thing you brought up is the color of the dice I was using. So I decided to focus mostly on the black and the yellow, and I'll give you some information about these dice for the selection pool when players are deciding their one dice. So these are the black ones, and these 6 are actually all loaded or biased towards the number 6. So if I roll them at the same time, they would most likely land on 6. These yellow ones are more towards, I think, different numbers. So the on eBay where I purchased them, it said that the numbers 2, 7, and 12 would come up more over time. And these are just regular dice. These are completely fair, 1/6 chance for each side. So I will show you, for more background information, I'll show you some of the pages where I purchased these dice. Here are the yellow ones that I bought, trick dice, 1/2 inch flats and shapes, ivory color, 6-1 is over 6 ace. So let's look at the description here. Dice 6 shapes favor 2, 7, and 12. Weak 40 over 1,000 shaved, also known as flats, are dice that are unevenly trimmed, which favor the dice landing on certain numbers. So let's see. With these 6 and 1 sides are the flat sides, and naturally the numbers 6 and 1 will come up the most often. These dice are shaved 40 over 1,000 of an inch, and on the 6-1 side, the favorite numbers 2, 7, and 12, which over time will come up more often than the other numbers and cause the shooter to crap out. So for the black ones, these are character building loaded dice by Coplow Games. So I'll scroll to the description. These are standard size black 6-sided dice with silver pipes for numbering. They are numbered normally but are weighted, so they are more likely to roll 6. In general, the longer they roll, the more likely they are to land on 6. So that's some background information on the dice that I chose. Obviously, I would prefer more variety, but I did a lot of research and I did not come up with other numbers, so it was hard for me to find loaded dice or biased dice towards the numbers 4, or let's say 3. Like they're more towards 1 and 6, and sometimes 2. It's very tricky to find the exact dice you're looking for, but I spent a lot of money on them, and the ones I got I think worked pretty well. And I think casinos in Las Vegas, they definitely use biased dice, and so because they obviously want to have the upper hand among people that come in and want to gamble. And I actually found some dice on eBay, but those casino dice cost over $190. So those are really out of my price range. But it would be great if I could get them for my board game, but I don't have the funds to. So let's move on to my enhanced board game with extra mechanics. So you told me on my feedback, that I should focus on perhaps working on the flow movement. Let's see. The board will need the movement flow on it to help players. Yeah. So that's why I enlarged it. It's I took the picture to FedEx, and they enlarged it for me and laminated it for me. So now it looks more like a real board game, and it's this size, so it allows many players to play at once. I apologize for any glares on the board. That's because of the lights at the top. I apologize for that. So I will pause quickly and then move towards gameplay and my added mechanics.